Arako Jagun, Nyali Banjalang Nyi, Arako Jagun.
Where am I? What was I doing last night? I remember standing on a table doing an air guitar solo of Sweet Child of Mine. People were laughing. There was an angry bouncer. A haze of strange places and faces moving away. Then strands of my hair dipping in the toilet water below me. The only sound I heard was my own voice reverberating inside the enamel auditorium. My insides hurt as I heaved. Nothing was coming out, just air and the rancid smell of the abracababra takeaway. Then, just me, alone, in the rain, swaying. My night flushed away, along with some foamy bile and probably a little bit of my dignity. Now here I am, 8 hours later. Maybe if I lay still, I can stop this hangover from forging its way into my body. Maybe if I don't move, my hangover won't notice me. I'm scared as I peer under my sheets. I look down and scan my body. My sequin dress is clumped around my waist like a deflated rubber ring. I have scratches on my knees, a black toenail, and disco dirt scuffed up my shins. Remnants of an unknown adventure mapped out in blotches over my pasty English skin. Where the bloody hell did I end up last night? Well, at least it's Sunday. Sunday means I can wallow in this squishy pit of discontentment until this stonking hangover pisses off. I try to go back to sleep, but my heart beats fast. Irrational thoughts and half memories bang around inside my head. I'm hollow as I think about what is forgotten, empty because of what I don't remember. I sit up and I decide to piece together my night, but noises from the land beyond my hangover invade my head. Cupboards bang, the sticky sound of the fridge door being opened, the annoying sound of a single coin being flung around in the dryer. Then there's something high-pitched, like a cat being strangled. What is that? It must be the TV. Can you turn that down? But the noise gets louder. A warm light enters the room, and the silhouette of my husband fills the space. The source of the racket is wriggling in his arms. You'll have to get up, Vicky. George needs feeding. What? The baby's hungry. Oh, yeah. Shit. The baby. Yep, a baby. A beautiful boy. And I'm too hungover to look after him. How the fuck did this happen? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you. It's a mixture of ingredients, a perfect storm of fuck-uppery. I was born within stumbling distance of loads of cosy English pubs. To an eccentric family, my parents have poured cheap sparkling wine into cheap plastic flutes and topped up glasses of wobbly revellers ever since I can remember. I saw that drinking was how you have fun, connected and relaxed. No negative repercussions as far as I can tell. I was in bed with my teddy bear by the time Auntie Pauline was sick in the punch bowl and the man in the Union Jack thong got extracted from my parents' front lawn. I soaked up the cheerful pandemonium. And I knew very early on that being a drinker was kind of my destiny, a sort of, legless legacy. As a teen, I found being a few beers in made me confident with boys. But my overindulgence led to vodka comas in farmers' fields and awkward hand jobs in park bandstands. It was all a bit messy and sticky. Each scenario left me gagging for more alcohol to numb out my interactions with Lynx deodorant-smothered teenage boys. All of my rebellions felt quite, well, normal. I mean, I was growing up in the mid-90s. If I wasn't snorting coke off a Filofax or puking Alco Pops into my neighbour's wheelie bin, I would have been considered a weirdo. I was just having fun, coming of age. But a few things happened along my zigzaggy path. A bullying incident left me with a little hole in my heart. That heartbreak caused me to drink for the wrong reasons. It changed then. I began trying to fill a void. I began to drink to be accepted within my friendship groups, within my family, and within a culture that didn't give me many other choices. But deep down, perhaps, I don't know, I drank to feel loved. Then add a dollop of Ladette culture, a spoonful of recreational drug use, a large helping of low self-esteem. All of it combined spewed out what you'd imagine. A reckless party girl. A girl that actually abandoned herself for the entertainment of others. I spent the next 25 years being a booze hound with no off switch. The one with the backstage passes to every gig, nightclub, and wake south of the M25 motorway. But I was a reliable drinking buddy. I was a never-ending conga line of festivity. You know me. I was the one that bumped into you and spilt your pint. The one with the punchlines and those horrible red wine teeth. You might have even held my ponytail as I puked up tequila shots into a horrible pub toilet. I was that girl. I actually didn't know that this behaviour was harming me, or that giving all my love away so freely meant that there was nothing left in the tank for me. Of course, throughout my decades of downing pints and taking shots, there were red flags whipping me across the face. But I was too pissed to notice, too hammered to take heed. I'm going to list them now. There was the arrest, the ecstasy overdose, risky promiscuity, a tsunami, the cult, job losses, toxic relationships, and the Millennium Stump. I blew my finger off on the firework on the Millennium Night. That night certainly did go off with a bang. But you have to read my book to find out all that stuff. But none of these quite dramatic events ever made me question my relationship with alcohol. You might as well have asked the ocean to stop making waves. Sober was not on my radar. All my exploits were simply another wayward story to add to my rich repertoire. I was your happy, socially acceptable binge drinker with a habit cleverly absorbed into the crowd. The sort of boozing that got soaked up by the people I surrounded myself with, drenched by a society that glamorizes being 3 sheets to the wind. There was no time for looking inwards. Self-reflection interrupted solid drinking time. I wasn't passed out on a bench with a bottle of Jack Daniels clenched to my chest. I was your normal British pub-dwelling booze bag. But then something got in my way, and I got turfed out of the lock-in. A baby. I'm going to be honest with you now. Motherhood was not what I expected it to be. I thought I'd shove the baby in a sling and fuck off around the world and continue being me. But the transition from party girl to mum was difficult. I'd gone from having glitter boobs at Glastonbury to being up to my elbows in shit and nappies. The party girl was slowly slipping away. She oozed out of the bottom of my Birkenstocks. I was becoming, just a mum. A person that wore daggy shorts and hummed nursery rhymes as she hung out the washing. I was a cardigan-wearing bottom wiper. and I did not like it. The only way I knew how to deal with the humdrum of being a new mum, or any emotion at all, was to drink. To go out, escape the boring, and find a piece of me on a grubby dance floor. So that's what I did. I left my husband holding the baby. I got pissed. I guzzled booze until I saw double. And that's how I got here, hungover, in charge of a small life, too sick to care for my baby. I must do better, I thought. I tried. I really did. Water between wine, sticking to beer, attempting moderation. But once one was down the hatch, my inhibitions dissolved, and before long I was dumped in a taxi with a Coles bag to puke in. For 4 years, I got stuck in a panic-ridden Pinot Gris purgatory, trapped between the pub and an AA meeting, slowly fading to grey. With each dusty hangover, 3 unwelcome guests crept into my life: guilt, shame, and anxiety. I listened as my husband took my son out for the day. I heard him zip up his coat and the front door click closed. By some bloody miracle, I got pregnant again. She was tiny, with blue eyes. I made promises I couldn't keep. 7 weeks after her birth, I went out and got wasted. I danced around the pub with my maternity knickers, hanging out the top of my jeans. I woke the next morning, my body pulsating with shame, my body shouting at me to change. Why do I keep doing this? What is wrong with me? Why do I keep failing? I looked at my perfect baby, sleep in her crib. Fear flooded my heart. I held my finger on my pulse, wanting to hear the moment my heart stopped beating. I didn't hold my children that day. When the panic subsided a little, I plodded into the lounge and sat next to my husband. I'm trying to stop drinking, but I can't. I think I need help. My husband took my hand and he promised to support me. And that is where my sober story begins. Now here I am, 5 years later, a sober mummy, a mummy that is present, here to bear witness to my failures and successes, here to revel in the wonderment of sober life and challenge this booze-worshipping culture in which we all live. I'm a person that no longer leans on booze to escape from strong emotions. A mum that learnt in therapy to be kind to herself, to take responsibility and rebuild a life without alcohol. I'm not perfect. My kids still spit fish fingers at me. They get beads stuck up their noses and they drive me crazy. And I shout at them like a rabid howler monkey some days. But I'm here and I'm available always. A dear friend once said to me, never underestimate a cycle breaker. The changes I have made will gently ripple throughout my family for generations to come. And I hope this means my kids have a choice about alcohol, unlike I did. And I hope it makes them know that just being themselves is enough. Sobriety has taught me that everybody is capable of change. Humans can evolve and grow. Who knew? Change the habits of a lifetime and go on to thrive. It's the key to a happier and more fulfilling life. When you say no to alcohol, you say yes to authenticity. You say yes to a life with less vomit, less shame, and nowhere near as many visits to the STI clinic. On a final note, just remember, children are clever little fuckers. By existing, they force you into self-reflection. They shower you in something you can't avoid. They pour it all over you like warm custard until you're drowning in the stuff. Love. For them, and eventually for yourself. It always comes back to love.